You've got to be joking. Labour government is silent as fuel costs surge toward £2 a litre. UK fuel is among the most expensive in the world. When you read this article, you will be shocked how much we pay in comparison to other countries. Fuel prices are surging again, with diesel already pushing past 180 pence per litre and petrol pushing past 180 pence. Industry forecasts now suggest diesel could hit £2 a litre within weeks if global supply disruptions continue. For a typical 55-litre family car, that means £120 just to fill up. For working people, that is not an inconvenience. It is a direct hit on living standards. The government's response? Words, warnings, and very little else. Motorists in England are being taken for a ride, and not the kind that gets you anywhere. At the heart of the crisis is the sharp rise in global oil prices following escalating conflict in the Middle East and disruption in the Strait of Hormuz, which is a critical artery for nearly a fifth of the world's oil supply. Brent crude has surged from around $73 to over $100 a barrel. Every $10 increase adds roughly 7 pence per litre at the pump. But global pressures alone do not explain why drivers across England and Wales are being hit harder than many others. The UK's fuel pricing structure is a major part of the problem. Drivers are paying fuel duty, 52.95 pence per litre, VAT, 20%. Applied to both the fuel and the duty. This creates a compounding tax burden where the government profits more as prices rise. Estimates suggest the Treasury is taking an additional £91 million per month in VAT alone due to higher fuel prices. Meanwhile, other countries have acted. France has imposed price caps and increased inspections. Germany limits how often prices can be raised. Spain and Portugal have cut fuel taxes. Taiwan absorbs a large share of price increases. The British government has done none of this. Instead, working people across England face a double squeeze: rising fuel costs and rising household bills from April. For many, particularly those who rely on cars for work such as delivery drivers, care workers, tradespeople, this is unsustainable. It also disproportionately affects people who are outside of the major cities, where public transport is not as easily available and workers rely on cars both to get to work and for basic household supplies and shopping. Why the England hit so hard? The UK economy is heavily dependent on imported oil and gas, mainly from the US and Norway, and sells much of its own North Sea oil abroad for refining. This leaves domestic prices exposed to volatile global markets with limited capacity to cushion shocks. What could be done if the government is serious about protecting working people? Immediate steps are needed. Cut VAT on fuel or remove VAT from fuel duty, introduce a temporary fuel price stabilization mechanism, increase transparency and regulation of pump pricing, expand investment in domestic refining and energy resilience. Without intervention, £2 per litre will not be a worst-case scenario just being discussed. It could be reality. How workers can cut costs now. Some suggestions. Use supermarket forecourts, typically 3 to 5 pence cheaper per litre. Avoid motorway service stations if you can. Compare prices using apps like Petrol Prices or RAC Fuel Watch. Drive efficiently, steady speeds, correct tire pressure, car share where possible. These are sticking plasters, not solutions, but they matter. Statement from Stephen Morris, General Secretary, Workers of England Union. This is not just about fuel, it is about fairness. Working people across England are being hammered while the British Treasury quietly benefits from rising prices. Other countries have stepped in to protect their workers. The British government has chosen not to. That is a political decision, and it must be challenged. If fuel hits £2 a litre, it will not be an accident. It will be the result of inaction,